What's up, dudes? What's up, everybody? Today, I figured we'd do something a little bit different. You know, we're not going to play a video game. We're not going to do a skit. We're going to talk about my favorite series of movies growing up as a kid. The Ernest P. Worrell movies. Now, to tell you the truth, a lot of people are not going to remember or even know or even heard of any of the Ernest movies. And if you haven't, man, I don't know what the hell are you living under a rock? Jesus Christ, man, you need to go out and watch the movies. I got them all right here. They offer many fucking box sets to watch them, so go get them and watch them, dude. Now, the Ernest movies are very nostalgic for me. I fondly remember renting all the Ernest movies from Video King or Hollywood Video when I was a kid. You know, it brings me back to a simpler time where I didn't have to worry about working so I can afford food so I don't starve. Shit. I hate doing adult things. Fuck. The Ernest character was developed in, I think, 1980 by an ad agency out of Nashville, Tennessee called Carden and Cherry. Now, they created this character to do commercials for him, and the Ernest P. Worrell commercials were very successful. They did over 900 of them. That blows my mind, dude. That's crazy. Now, the public really caught on to these commercials. Everybody loved Ernest, dude. So what do when everybody loves a TV show or a commercial? You make a movie out of it. So in 1987, they came out with the first movie of Ernest. And that movie was Ernest Goes to Camp, which is a fucking phenomenal movie, by the way. Now, basically, the plot... Now, basically, in Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest is a camp counselor at Camp Kikiki, right? And a bunch of juvenile delinquents get sent to the camp for, like, punishment, I guess. It's not really clear why they're sent to the camp. Actually, no, I think they do say that in the film, that they say that this is their last chance, and I don't know what's going to happen if they misbehave or get kicked out of camp this time, but whatever. I haven't seen the movie in, like, a week. Which is crazy, because I watch them all the time. I got all the box sets right here. But basically, Ernest is put in charge of these kids because Ernest so desperately wants to become a camp counselor, right? And the guy who runs the camp is like, alright, well, you can, you know, run these, you can take care of all these bad kids. Very tough job, right? And the whole time, the kids are just shitting on Ernest, and they're not actually shitting on him, but they're playing pranks on him, and... I don't know if they don't like Ernest, but they, you know, the pranks are pretty bad, you know, if you ask me. But anyways, there's a guy who owns the camp, and he's basically a Native American and his daughter, right? And there's this mining company that wants to take over the camp so they can turn it into a mine, right? And the guy who runs the mining company keeps coming to the camp, and the Native American and his daughter continuously say no. But then, the next time that the guy from the mining company comes, Ernest happens to be at the Native American's log cabin or whatever. And this guy must know that Ernest is a complete idiot. And he lies to Ernest, and Ernest translates for the Native American and basically tells all these lies. He doesn't know it's a lie, whatever. But he tells the Native American all these lies, and he ends up signing the paper to sign the camp away, right? Long story short, the mining company comes into the camp and starts knocking everything down. You know, bulldozers, fucking tractor trailers, and a bunch of equipment and shit. And the juveniles and Ernest all have to fight the construction company, which sounds crazy, but they do. Ernest legitimately fights the construction guys. Obviously gets his ass whooped, but, you know, long story short, everything ends very good, okay? The construction company leaves, they get to keep the camp. It's a great movie, okay? Now, at first, I didn't really like this movie. I'm not really too sure why. I just didn't like it. And as I got older and as I watched it more and more, I grew to love it. It really is a good movie. You know, I give it a solid 3.5 out of 5 Ernest heads. It's not my favorite Ernest movie, but it's definitely up there. I really do enjoy it. I think for a first Ernest movie, they did a phenomenal job. Now, the budget for this movie was like $3.1 million, and when it dropped in theaters, it made like $23 million at the box office. Not a bad start for the first Ernest movie. Now, once that movie came out, the second movie was not far behind, because the next movie came out the following year in 1988. It was a Christmas comedy movie called Ernest Saves Christmas. Now, the plot is... it's a little bit far-fetched, but that's fine. We were kids when we all watched this movie, so we didn't care. Basically, Santa Claus he has to retire, because over time the magic sort of fades, so you have to pass the Santa Claus magic to somebody else for the magic to keep going. So Santa Claus comes into town. Ernest P. Worrell is a taxi driver. He has a different job in every single movie. And Ernest teams up with Santa Claus and another girl by the name of Harmony, I think her name was. But basically, this girl's a runaway who's hanging out with Ernest and Santa Claus. It's kind of weird, but whatever. And Santa Claus finds a replacement. His name is Joe. That's my name. It's a great name. And Joe runs a children's show, I guess. It's like a TV show, and he's the host of it. And Santa Claus goes up to Joe and tells him, like, hey, dude, I'm fucking Santa Claus. You gotta take over my shit, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, he doesn't believe him, right? Joe's manager, I think his name is, like, Marty or something like that. Basically, he's like, who the hell is this dude? Get out of here. You can't mess with my client here. You have to make an appointment. Whatever managers do, I don't know. So, eventually, Marty gets Santa Claus arrested. He arrested Santa Claus. What the fuck, man? And, long story short, I'm trying to keep these plots very, very small, but long story short, Ernest, the girl, and Santa Claus all convince Joe that he has to be the next Santa Claus. So he becomes the next Santa Claus. Ernest helps deliver some presents, I guess. Or no, he helps deliver the sleigh with the reindeer. That's what he does. And, it's a happy ending, just like every Ernest movie. It's great. Now, the budget for this movie was $6 million. This movie made about $26 million at the box office. I think it's a phenomenal movie to watch during the holiday season. You got your girlfriend, you got your eggnog, and you got yourself a copy of Ernest Saves Christmas. It's going to be a great time, okay? This movie's on Netflix at the time of recording this. At least I think it is. I don't know. I haven't been on Netflix in a while. But you should watch it, dude. It's a good Ernest movie. Classic Ernest gags. Ernest is just a great guy. I love him. I should get a tattoo of him. Now, in 1990, one of my favorite Ernest movies came out. And that movie happens to be Ernest Goes to Jail. This is one of the movies that I used to rent at Video King all the time. I'd say it's definitely in my top 3. Basically, Ernest works at a bank, right? And he has jury duty. Now, this is going to sound weird as shit, but in this jury duty, one of the criminals there basically notices that Ernest looks exactly like his criminal friend in jail. Like, identical. They're both played by Jim Varney, so obviously. The criminal's lawyer basically tells the judge that they have to go to the prison to look at something or whatever. I don't really understand it. I haven't watched it in a few weeks. But basically, they have to go to the jail on location to figure something out. So the jury gets a hang of the situation or whatever. So they go to the jail, which would never happen, by the way. And Nash, who is the criminal that looks like Ernest, basically switches spots with Ernest, okay? Now, how they do this is somebody whistles over to Ernest. So Ernest is like, huh? What's going on? So he walks around behind, like, the shed thing, and this guy fucking whacks Ernest, dude. Whacks him right in the head. Alright, so while Ernest is knocked out, they swap out his fucking, his clothes with Nash's uniform. So Nash, the criminal, goes with the jury duty free, and Ernest is in a prison outfit laying on the ground. So then Ernest is stuck in jail, right? Come to find out that Ernest replaced a guy who was on death row. So now Ernest is on death row. He's going to be killed by the state. That's crazy. Okay, so since Ernest works at a bank, Nash, the criminal, is like, holy shit, he works at a bank. So Nash ends up, like, planning to rob the bank. Now, long story short, like every other plot, Ernest is sent to death row. And They put him on death row. They zap him with the electric chair. Obviously, it's a kid's movie. Ernest is not going to die. He gets electrocuted, and all of a sudden, he has, like, these electric superpowers. He starts fucking zapping shit out of his fingertips. He's magnetic, so all the magnetic shit is sticking to his face. And, you know, he zaps all the guards, and the whole jail goes fucking haywire. A huge jail riot erupts. So Ernest ends up zapping his way out of prison, right? And while he's doing that, Nash is at the bank robbing the place. He's got a fucking bomb, right? So he's about to blow the safe open. Ernest comes fucking storming in, starts zapping him and fighting him and shit. And long story short, Ernest saves the day. Nash goes back to jail. It's a great time. I really don't know why I like this movie, because it's fucking weird, dude. But phenomenal, phenomenal movie, man. It's honestly, it's probably just the nostalgia, and that's why I love it so much. But fuck it, dude. I'm going to give it 4.5 Ernest heads out of 5 Ernest heads. That's a great rating. Now, nobody knows what the budget of this movie is. At least I couldn't find it. Couldn't find it anywhere on the internet. But when this movie came out in theaters, it made about $25 million. That is not bad, not bad, you know what I mean? You know, I would say this is like my second favorite Ernest movie, but the first favorite Ernest movie, Ernest Scared Stupid. Fucking classic. Now, this movie didn't, it's the 4th movie in the series. It didn't do as hot as the other movies. It only made about $14 million at the box office, and I don't know what the budget was. But basically, Ernest works for the town. He's like a trash man or whatever. And he hangs out with a bunch of these kids, right? So they decide to make a tree fort, right? And so they go in the woods and make a tree fort, and the woods is like creepy as shit. You can tell something's going on over there, all right? So basically they build a tree fort, and this old lady comes out and like, she like screams at him and says like, hey, this is my land. Ernest, you know, goes after the old lady and tries to figure out what's going on. So come to find out, while the kids are at the tree fort just hanging out, the lady tells Ernest that a troll is buried underneath the tree that Ernest's like great-great-great-great-great-grandfather dug, I guess. You know, I really don't know. But it's one of Ernest's relatives that buried the troll underneath the tree. And the only way to let the troll loose is to knock on the tree and say, "Yea, I call ye forth, Trantor." So of course the lady tells Ernest what you have to do. And of course, Ernest goes back to the tree and knocks on it and lets the troll loose, okay? So the troll gets loose, the troll starts kidnapping a bunch of kids, and when he kidnaps the kids, they turn into wooden statues. And the more wooden statues, or the more kids that he collects, basically the stronger he gets. And at the end of the movie, he basically resurrects his troll army, because he's so strong now, because he's kidnapped like 4 or 5 kids now. And the last scene of the movie is all the kids in the town and all the adults in the town fighting all the trolls. And the kids figure out that milk is like the only thing that can defeat these trolls. So all the kids are fucking, they got milk and squirt guns. So they're shooting all the trolls and shit, killing them, saving all the adults, because the adults don't know what to do. And they get to Trantor, which is like, you know, the main troll that was underneath the tree. And come to find out, he's too strong now, so milk can't kill him. And Ernest somehow figures out that true love is the only way to kill that troll. So what does Ernest do? He fucking dances with the trolls and kisses the troll. It's a weird scene. I don't know, dude. But anyway, he kisses the troll dies. Everybody lives happily ever after. This movie really creeped me out as a kid. Now, since that this is my favorite troll movie, or not, fuck, my favorite Ernest movie, I've never seen another troll movie, but whatever. Since it's my favorite, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 Ernest heads, baby. That is a phenomenal score, but you should definitely watch the movie, because it's a fucking great movie, okay? In the next part of Ernest P. Worrell movie reviews, we are going to go over the remaining 5 movies, because there's fucking 9 of them altogether, and then I'm going to rate every single movie from best to worst. So, thanks for watching, everybody. I greatly appreciate it. See you later!